Hello everyone, my name is Megan and today we are going to do a how-to video about how to use the Archer and bioTrack and making them work together. So the first thing we're going to start with is the Archer. So the process is we will use the Archer to collect our data and then we will pull the data into bioTrack. So today we are going to work on creating a calving book. So first thing we will go to the Start menu on our Archer and open the program FastEID, and that's what we're going to use for our data collection. And so what we need to do is set up our data fields that we would like to capture. So we will go to the Data Input tab. So now you can see that we can customize what pieces of information we would like to capture. So right now, these are just the original settings and say field 1, 2, 3. So the first field we will start with is the EID field, and that's we're not going to touch or have to change because that's where we will scan our electronic tag. And the second field is the visual ID, and that one is we can leave the same as well, or we could rename it ear tag if we wanted to. So the rest of these fields we'd like to customize to be able to put in the pieces of information we'd like for our calving book. So how we will do that is go to Tools and select Headings. So as I mentioned, the first one we'll leave the same for visual ID, and then the pieces of information we'd like to capture are the sex of the calf, the dam, the sire, whether it was born as a single or twin, and whether it was raised as a single or twin. We're going to capture calving ease, birth date, the calving season, the location, and birth management group. And those last three are the ones that we will need for bioTrack. So we're going to go through and add these, and I can show you a few tips and tricks on how to save you some time when you're doing the data entry on this device. So first thing, we are going to name the field. So the first one we have here, we're going to name it sex. So instead of having to type in that it's a heifer or a bull or a steer if you're castrating every time, we can make a drop-down menu. So we can click on the settings for this field. So we can then click on here and create our drop-down list. So we can say that it might be a bull, and we'll add that, or a heifer, oops, or a steer. So you will notice that there's a few choices at the top of something that we can do. So these are going to help us with our data entry. So with each calf, it's going to be different. So we're going to make sure that we hit clear on save. So that means when we save it, it's going to clear that field for us to put in the next one. So then we just hit accept, and we have that one set. So the second one that we're going to put in is dam. And so we have a list of our cows that we have in bioTrack, so it'd be nice to have a drop-down list of all of those cows. So what we can do is that we can pull our list of cows off of bioTrack and load them onto the Archer so we don't have to type each one out every time. So to do that, I'm going to go back to my computer and go to View My Cows in bioTrack. And then I can hit Export to Excel, and we can open that. And so what I'm going to do is I would like to list them by their bio tattoo so I can easily put them back into bioTrack after. So all I'm going to do is copy this, and these reference lists need to be loaded as a text file. So what we will do is go to Notepad, and we can then paste them into Notepad. So then we have our list of cows. So then I'm going to save this, and I'm going to save this on my desktop. And now I have my list of cows that I can pull into the Archer. So in order for me to put this onto my Archer, I will need to go to my desktop and find the file. And then I'm going to copy the file, and then we're going to put it onto the Archer. So you can see that we have our Archer plugged into our computer, so it comes up as one of the type of folders that we can open. We can click on the folders here, and in the My Documents of our Archer folders, we have the fast EID file. So this is where we'd like to put our files. So I'm just going to right click and paste, and now I have my McFarlane cows in my files. So I can go back to the Archer here and hit load. And now you can see that this McFarlane cows file is here, and I'm going to select it and load. And so now all my cows are loaded in a drop-down list for the dam. And we are going to do the same for the sire. So we would go through the same process to get our bulls off of bioTrack. So I already have a file saved here. So I just would go to bioTrack and go to view my sires, hit Excel, or export to Excel, and then copy them into Notepad. So I'm going to go back to my desktop here where I've saved this. And so here I have my bulls. So I'm going to hit copy. And again, we will then go back to our device, the Archer, and then to my documents, fast EID files, and I will hit paste. So again, now I have the bull file. So then go back to my Archer, and I can hit load, and you can see now I have my bull file. I'm going to hit load, and now I have the drop-down list for my bulls. So I'm going to hit clear on save, because I will have a different sire for different calves that I'm putting in. The other thing I should hit clear on save for the dam, because each dam is going to be different for each calf. And so the next field that we're going to put in is going to be born as. So this is how I'm going to say whether it was born as a single or a twin. So for this one as well, we can do the drop-down menu. So we will go to add for a single, and a twin. So this is going to help us when we go to put our information into bioTrack, that we're already going to have all the information we need. Just in case, maybe we'll have a triplet. Okay, and so this one I'm not going to hit clear on save, because most likely most of my calves are going to be born as single, so I'm just going to leave that in for each one that I save, and I can overwrite it if I need to. So we're not going to hit clear on save. And then another field that we are going to put in is raised as, so it's going to be similar. And we can add the same choices here. Perfect. And the next field we're going to put in here is calving ease. So again, I can put in a list that I would like to put. So first of all, I'm going to put unassisted. So these are the pieces of information that we need to put into bioTrack. So this is me doing this all one time and not having to re-enter it again later. Oops. Okay, so there are my choices for calving ease. And then we can see here that we have a date field. So that's one that we're automatically going to put in for birth date. And another one that we would like to add is the pieces of information when we add calves that we need into bioTrack are birth date and sex and breed and those type of things, but and dam and sire. The ones that are going to stay the same for each animal are the season, the location, and the birth management group. So this is something that we can add into our animals. So I've just worked on filling out the first table, but we have two in the Archer, so we have a whole nother set of possible places that we can enter data. So I'm going to add the season. So I would like to set up my calving season, and again we can go back to bioTrack and make sure that to match what we have in bioTrack. So you can see that when we go to view my calves, we have that our calving season is called 2012. So that's going to be our choice that I'm going to add to the drop-down menu in the Archer. And if we had different seasons, we would have the ability to add different ones if we needed to. The next thing that I'm going to add is that in bioTrack, each animal needs to have a location. So that's going to be one of my choices. And so we want to be able to match what the location we have in bioTrack. So when we go to bioTrack, we can go to Setup and Location Structure. And you can see the different locations that we have here. And you can put in the location where your animals are being calved. So right now I'm going to add the location of Bob home as well as the Marywood location. So if you're calving all your animals in the same place, we're not going to click clear on save, but we could have the option of hitting lock field, so it always puts it in for each animal. But since we have two choices, I'm not going to lock the field. And if all of another thing that we have when we're putting in the calves in bioTrack is the birth management group. So we're going to call that BMG. And if we're having all our animals together and they're all going to be in the same birth management group, we can say that they all have a birth management group of 1, and we're going to lock that field because it's going to be the same for everyone. And this is obviously very customizable to your situation. If you have calves that you're calving and they're going to be in different management groups, birth management groups, and you obviously can you can add different ones to there. So now that we've gone through and selected all the different pieces of information that we've had, we'll hit accept and we can go take a look at what it looks like when we do our data entry. So I'm going to go through adding a few calves. So first thing I'm going to do is scan that electronic tag. So I'll put the tag near the Archer and hit the home button, which is the little house on the bottom left-hand side of the Archer, and you can see that it scanned that electronic tag for me. And then for the visual ID, I'm going to put in that my calf is 56Z, and for the sex, I'm going to have a heifer, and for the dam, you can see we have all our dams listed here. And I have the ability to scroll through and find the one that I'm looking for. So we've got 35S as the dam, and then for the sire, we have the ability to scroll through and find. So we've got 44P as this calf sire, and it was born as a single, raised as a single, and had unassisted calving ease. And you can see that the date has automatically filled in there. And then you remember that we set up some other headings in the table 2. So we click on this table button and that brings us to table 2. So we can see that I'm going to add that it was born in 2012, location is Bob's home, and that it is, I'll have to change that one, that it's a birth management group of 1. So I actually shouldn't have locked that field. So then we have all the information for our animal that we would like to add, and we can click on Save Data. So you can see that we have one animal saved that you can see at the top. So when we go to add our next calf, you can hit the home button and scan the next tag, and you will notice the different pieces of information that we had clear on save. Maybe one that we could add is the ear tag. We can hit clear on save because that's going to be different for each calf. So we've got 57 Zs, and this one's a bull, and I'm going to scroll through and find his dam is 80X, and our sire, again, the 44P, and you can see that it was born as a single, raised as a single. If we wanted to change that, we could, but you can see that it's automatically put in there for us. Again, we have the date, and we have the ability to go to this next page, but you can see that it's already going to save the 2012 and the location because we clicked on do not clear on save. So then we can hit save data, and now we have 2. We can do, so now we've decided, you know what, maybe we'd like to change these settings a little bit. So we can go to, again, to Tools, select Headings, and the one thing that I would like to change is that Visual ID. I'm going to clear on save, so that clears every time. And the other one is the Birth Management Group. We're going to just go with that. Okay, and then we'll hit Accept. Okay, so again, we're going to scan my tag, and we have our tag in there, and I'm going to add the ear tag, and the sex, the dam, 41Y, and our sire. And again, it was born as a single, raised as a single, and then for our table 2, we're going to choose Birth Management Group of 1 and hit Save Data. So then you can see that all our settings have chose the ones that we're looking for, and we'll just do one more here and hit the Home button to scan the tag. Our Visual ID we're going to add is 59 Z, and we have a heifer and her dam, and the sire, and again, born as a single. We have our date already filled in, and we can go to table 2 and see that it's season 1, our location, and the birth management group is correct. So again, we'll go to save data. So you can keep an eye on how many calves that you saved, and so now we have 4 in here, and so our next step is after we've entered all our calves is that we can take the file off of here and then put it onto bioTrack. Okay, so now that we've got all our calves in here, we would like to export this file. So very first thing we need to do is save it. So we've been saving each record individually, so they're on the Archer, but we need to save the entire file so we can take it off of the Archer and put it into bioTrack. So we will go to Save Load and hit Copy Save. So this brings us to a place where we can save the file, and it's good to name it something that you'll know what it is. So this one I'm going to say is the 2012 calving. Oops. And you can see that I'm saving it in the FastEID files, and that is a CSV file. So that's exactly the type of file that we need to save or to import into bioTrack. So we'll hit Save As, and now that is saved onto our Archer. So now we've got our Archer plugged into the computer, and we can take this file off of the Archer and put it onto our computer. So I'm going to again go to My Documents, FastEID Files, and here we see our file 2012 calving. So again, I'm going to copy it, and then I can paste it into my desktop. So now we have it in the desktop, and we can open it up. So here's what it looks like off of the Archer. So you can see all the different columns that we put in. and the different pieces of information. We also have the capability to do some edits once we're here, and you can see my data entry wasn't great. This was supposed to be 57Z, so I can change that. And I also will add the birth management group for these two calves. And so there is one piece of information that we're missing to load into bioTrack. So we would like to add the biotattoo. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a column right here, and I'm going to call it the biotattoo. And you could have added this when you were in the Archer, but I usually think it's a bit easier to do it in Excel, and it saves you a bit of time because we have a bit of a shortcut. So what we can do is we can put a little formula in here. So I will show you an example. So I can put equals and the prefix of my tattoo. So I have the Simmental and then the MCRD. So that's what's going to be added to each tattoo, and I just need to put that in quotations. And then the next part we'll need is the ear tag, so the 56Z. So what I'm going to do is then put in an and sign, and the cell that that's coming from is B2. And then we'll need another and sign, and then at the end we need to put the C. So then we'll just hit enter, and you can see we have our biotattoo created. So that's why it's a bit easier, I think, to add the tattoo later. So then we can just do a little copy paste down, and that's going to fill in the biotattoo for all of our animals. So looks like we have all the required information. The only thing is that we are just going to change the format a little bit for the date to go into bioTrack. So I've just highlighted this row and or this column, excuse me, and I'm going to right click and go to Format Cells and go to Number and Custom, and the one that we're looking for to go into bioTrack is the day, month, year. So we can click on that, and then we have it in our correct form. So we're just going to hit save again, and now we are ready to go into bioTrack. So every time you save a CSV, you'll get this message, but it just means that it can't save the formatting. So we'll say that that's fine. So now that we have our file saved, we're going to head on back to bioTrack, and how we're going to add our information is through the import and export. So we'll click on import and export, and we would like to import with a CSV file. So this looks very similar to if you're going to be adding an attachment to an email. So we're going to browse and find our file. So remember that we have that on the desktop. So we named it 2012 calving, and we can hit open. And then we're going to click to upload the file. So now we have our file uploaded. So what we are doing here today is that we are adding new animals. So we're going to select Add Purchase a New Animal and select OK. And so now you can see that all of our different pieces of information are on the left-hand side of the screen, and that's what we're going to map to into our bioTrack. So for the first one, we have the Canadian EID, and then our ear tag. So we're just going to match up all the pieces of information that we need. So again, you can see the starred ones that are required. So we have our sex, and you'll find that these choices are in alphabetical order, except for the few at the top that are the required. So we'll take a bit of time and map all of these fields. And there's our birth date and their season, our location, which is required, birth management group, And then these other ones we don't need to map. So you can see that you can map the ones that you need and the ones that you don't. So we had a couple blank fields in here, so that's okay. So the other thing that we can do is that we say to all this template that every time we're uploading calves, it's going to come the same off of the Archer. So now that we've had this set up, we can name this. And so every time we want to go upload the same kind of file that has the same headings along the top, it will already map it for us. So we're going to call this Archer calving and save the template. So our template is saved successfully. And then we're just going to hit process, and that is going to pull all our files into bioTrack. So now let's take a look at all the calves that we've just uploaded. So we can go to view my calves, and you'll remember that it was the 2012 calving season. And so you can see the different pieces of information that we have uploaded, and there also are a lot more other pieces that we can add. So all the information we pulled off of the Archer is now in bioTrack. Thank you very much for your time today and for watching our video. If you have any more questions, please feel free to give us a call at the office. Our number here, toll free, is 1-855-246-2333, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.